What is up, my Wasteless Wonders? Welcome back to another week. This week, I've got a lot of exciting stuff that I want to tell you about, so let's get straight into it. Welcome the newest member of our wonderful team, our Patreon team, and that is Mikey Mike, Mr. Learmonth. I know this guy personally. We've shared some pretty wild experiences together, and in fact, he is going to be joining me in Panama later this year as a bit of a sidekick. We're obviously going to have some fun, but also he'll be following me around to see some of the incredible projects that we're going to be interviewing for the podcast and for the YouTube channel, and getting an experience of a lifetime, I think. So looking forward to hanging out with you again, Mike, and welcome to the Wasteless Wonders. I also like to make a quick mention as well to Reto. Look, Reto has been making, if you've been looking at our YouTube shorts or some of the Instagram social media posts, he's been putting in a lot of effort in his spare time to help create some really nice, impactful short videos. He also just upgraded his Patreon support to a higher level of financial commitment, which again, it's just so heartwarming. I mean, he's already giving so much, but because he's dived in and he's actually working a bit closer with me behind the scenes, I think he's also been very inspired about the amount of time and effort that goes into everything that we are doing here. You know, what you guys are seeing just through the Patreon or through our social media really is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes, but it's all coming together. So it's a really exciting time. I'm wrapping things up here in Australia. I just sold my car, my little snowflake bubble car. Such an emotional attachment to that car because it's such a fuel efficient car, and just such a cute little thing. But anyway, it's just a thing, and we've got to make sure we use things and love people, because the opposite never works. I'm having a meeting this afternoon with a beautiful young woman who is very, very talented. She's helped start up a sustainable sunglass brand, and she works in all sorts of media, and she's really excited about the Bye Bye Lionfish project and what we could do with recycled plastics and combining the plastic pollution project with the Bye Bye Lionfish project to create some really cool, high quality eyewear that will be not only helping solve plastic pollution, not only helping to tackle an invasive species, not only helping to support indigenous vulnerable communities, but the funds that we eventually start raising from the sale of those products will be going towards helping to restore forests as well. So just the social and environmental impact that these glasses will have, I think, is just going to be incredible. So I'm super excited to get that product designed and on the market. And for our Patreon supporters, I will definitely be giving, especially I think the first 500 Patreon supporters that we get, I'm going to be giving a little bit of a surprise for once we've got that out in the market. So can't say too much about that just yet, but everyone of you that's a Patreon supporter right now, you are definitely a part of that group. The YouTube channel at the moment, we're sitting at, last checked, it was about 377 subscribers. So we're nearing that 400 mark, and we're going to keep pushing for that. So if you know anyone that cares about the environment, like is passionate about that, and wants to follow us on this journey, send them a link to a video, this video maybe, and ask them to subscribe, because we're about to go on an amazing adventure to find inspiring people and projects around the world and bring their projects to you to either inspire yourself or someone in your community, or potentially connect you with them so that you can maybe go and help them. Or, it's also about us connecting with other people and growing that network of Earth Warriors and Wasteless Warriors. So I'm trying to be a little bit more active on social media at the moment, and I've been putting a few messages out there, and they're messages that I truly resonate with. Now, I'm not perfect. I'm a human being, and I'm still in the process of ascension and basically trying to be the best human being I can possibly be. And I have to say that I, in general, love life, like I always have. Of course, I've had moments. And but I think I've got a pretty clear understanding that the world is a mirror, and whatever's happening to you right now is generally a reflection of what you're doing, right? So if you're not happy with what's going on and what's happening to you in life, then the first thing you got to do is have a look in the mirror, have a look at yourself. And that can be easier said than done. You know, your own ego will often trick you, and it's much easier to pass blame to everything else. But at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to be able to, take control of your life. The word responsibility, you break that up, it's your ability to respond. That's what responsibility means. And so life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to that. There is a time and a place for every human emotion. The human experience is all about living a true human life, and that includes the negative feelings as well. Like if someone's just passed away and you're like, water off a duck's back, it's all right, it's all a part of life, that's a little bit weird. It's okay to sit with those emotions and have time for grieving and sadness and disappointment and heartache and all of these sort of things. And in fact, when you really have the right perspective, you'll learn to appreciate those things because they help put the good stuff into perspective. But if you're just wallowing on your own self-pity and how I'm so sad and you can't pull yourself out of that and bounce back when the time is right, then I guarantee you're not going to be able to live your fullest, most impressive and joyful life. When you are going through these tough times, or even when you're not going through these tough times, something else I've been talking about this week is the importance of just practicing gratitude on a daily basis. Now, I've always had the ability to do that and be very grateful for a lot of the things, but I've been putting intention into it this year, and just the shift from last year, because I was last year, after the fire happened, I was wallowing in my own self-pity and I was really down. And I got to a point where I was just, because it's in my nature, I was like, no, okay, that's enough. I'm not being productive. I'm developing bad habits. I'm not attracting the right people into my life. And so I thought, got to clean up my act, get out of my own head. I stopped drinking, stopped smoking, and have just focused on organizing and, something that I do on a daily basis is a routine where I practice gratitude with my beautiful partner every single morning without fail. And we talk about the things that we appreciate in our life, in our body, and also within our work life as well. Regardless of whether the job you're doing right now is the dream job that you've ever, you've always wanted, or whether it's just a means to an end, there's always something you can think about that's positive about that job. And if you focus on those things, it's going to make it a little bit easier to get out of bed every single day. That's all I really wanted to talk about this week. Thank you, Mike, for joining the team. Thank you everybody else who's on the Patreon team and is able to contribute a few dollars out of the week. If you are just on a free membership, I still appreciate you, and anybody that can give their time. That is the most valuable resource as well. So if you don't feel you can help financially, but feel maybe you could contribute some time to the project, then feel free to send me a message. And because there's more and more things that are now starting, as I get clarity around the direction that we're going in, there are more things that I'm finding I could use help with. So in this beautiful day and age of technology where you don't necessarily need to be in the same room as your team, and I consider you guys as a team, then there's many ways that we can help support each other and the mission that we are on to create a world where we waste less and what? Love more. All right, guys, thanks so much for your time. Have a lovely week. See you next week.